90% of recruiters say that job applicants that know company competencies are quality job applicants. So what are competencies? How do I know which ones are important? And how do I use them in my interview? My name is Patrick, and I'm going to show you the answers to all these questions. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you an extra tip that will help you stand out from the crowd. So let's start with the basics. What is a competency? A competency is a skill, behavior, or attitude that helps you complete a certain task. Let's hear a few examples of competencies and think whether they apply to you. Initiative. Do you analyze and execute things independently, or do you need someone to push you to do stuff? Perseverance. Do you power through challenges until you get the job done, or do you take the foot off the gas when you face a few difficulties? Flexibility. Are you able to notice what's going on around you and change your approach as necessary? There are hundreds of different competencies out there. The good news is that you don't have to be great at every single one. Different roles in different companies prioritize different competencies. So focus on the ones that will matter most to you. So for example, a sales job will typically require competencies such as customer orientation, listening, and problem-solving skills. For consulting, change management, creativity, and curiosity. A finance job, on the other hand, might require attention to detail, logical reasoning, and communication skills. So now that you know what a competency is, let's use that knowledge to figure out which competencies are required by the company that you are applying to. And there are two ways we can do that. By the way, if you feel like you've gotten value from this video, please consider liking and subscribing. We're constantly pushing out new content to help your job search and career. And practice for competency-based interview questions at tryvoomer.com, where you can practice on questions for thousands of companies and you get instant AI-powered feedback on your answers to help you improve quickly. Now that we know what a competency is and how different competencies are required by different jobs, let's look at the company you are applying to understand what are the core competencies that company wants. The first method is simply typing in the company name that you're applying to plus the word competencies and searching for that. Many companies publicly list the competencies that they look for, which makes our lives much easier. Here we see an example from General Motors. They list 8 competencies: inclusiveness, customer focus, innovation, looking ahead, teamwork, boldness, ownership, and integrity. Isn't it great when companies just tell you what they're looking for? However, not all companies do this. For those that don't, what you do is search for the company name and then the word values. The vast majority of companies are very proud of their values and they publicize those on their websites. Values and competencies are very closely linked, so you can use values as a proxy for competencies. If we look at Goldman Sachs, their values are client service, excellence, integrity, and partnership. We can see how their values are very similar to competencies. Great, so now we know what a competency is and how to find out the competencies that matter to the organization you are applying to. In this last section, we use all this knowledge to really impress the interviewers. You can usually tell a competency question because it begins with, "Tell me about a time." That's your cue that this is a competency question. Competency-based questions look to your past, try and predict your future performance. This is why the best way to approach these questions is to look at your career and find out which example best demonstrates the fact that you are great at the competency they are asking about. The next step is to use a STAR method to organize your answer. Up here, I go into more detail on what the STAR method is and how you can use it to really ace that question. Now, to really shine above the competition, you need to combine the knowledge you've learned in this video with some AI-powered interview practice. Head over to tryvoomer.com where you can practice on questions for thousands of companies and get instant AI-powered feedback on your answers so you can quickly improve and land that dream job. Let me know if you have any extra questions in the comments. I usually get back to them within a day. And as always, good luck with your interview. Check out the rest of our channel for more interview tips, including things such as improving your camera and audio setup.